Hi everybody, I'm here to report on yesterday's 2-0 win for Rangers against Hibs at Ibrox in the quarter-final of the League Cup. And to say it was our best domestic display of the season is an understatement, probably. I know it's a low bar, but this was more like it. This had the fans walking away at least with a smile on their face. And against a decent team as well. It was a better display than we'd had in the previous round against Alloa, where they managed to score 2 goals against us. Hibs should feel themselves lucky actually that they left with only a 2-0 defeat, because it should have been 4, 5, 6. The chances that should have gone in, especially in the second half. So all round decent performance. People feeling maybe the tide has turned. We'll need more than one game to decide that. If we can beat Genk on Thursday in the first Europa League game, that might encourage us to think the tide has turned, but we'll wait and see until Thursday night. I must say, the manager, after a week of turbulence to say the least, he almost picked the correct team, the starting lineup. The only quibble I would have had was that he played Mikey Moore. Well, at least he played him in the right wing, because before he's played him in the left, which then means the gas man has to play in the right, and that spoils his effect because he's really a left winger. So at least the gas man was on the left, he was one of our better players, and Moore was on the right, and I would say he was our worst player. So apart from that, selection, I think the manager basically got the team right, the team most people would have selected before the game, and it did its job. Apart from Mikey Moore, obviously we'll come back to him later, but he was easily the worst man in the team. He should have been subbed at half time. Why he wasn't, I just do not know. The only other player I would say who had a substandard performance was Tavernier, which is usual. Passes going astray, weak in the tackle, trundling back, all usual stuff. So they were the only two I would call failures in the team that started the game. And we started well. We had them in the back foot. We were playing quicker than normal, passing it forward more, maybe getting great energy when Raskin got the ball in midfield and he would surge forward. He had a wild shot. There was nowhere near the goal, but at least he was trying. So things were looking good for the first, 5-10 minutes. And then, as usual, the opposition scores. And it came from an attack. We're in their half. Tavernier's got the ball. 2 Hibs guys, I think, come towards him. One ends up lying down the ground, and he still manages to get it away from Tavernier. Tavernier loses the ball to a guy lying on the ground, who tapped it to another Hibs player. Long ball up the middle. Martin Boyle runs onto it, rushes into the area, shoots for goal. Butland got a hand to it, not enough, and it just sneaked inside the post with a low shot. So everybody's really distraught at this. And then we got a lifeline. VAR looked at it, and I've seen it since on TV, and it was handball. That's the regulation. If the ball hits off your hand and it leads to you scoring, it's chalked off. So he didn't mean it. It wasn't as much a handball as the Shankland one last week in some similar circumstances where Hearts took the lead. They got away with that one, but this was certainly a ball that hit off his hand onto his path so he could keep running with it and score. And the most disappointing thing to me was how slow, it's all comparative I know, but how slow Cornelius looked when he was running side by side with him. I thought he should have been able to tackle him, slide into and take the ball away or whatever, but he couldn't. So that was disappointing. But anyway, saved by VAR. Who would have thought I'd be saying that after the season we've had so far in terms of VAR? They actually had a chance before that. I think it was a guy ran past about 2 or 3 Rangers players as if they weren't there, and laid it off to Boyle, and his shot went over the bar. He should have done better with that. Actually, Boyle had a pretty poor game. He'll want to forget this one because he had the goal disallowed. He had that shot over the bar where he should have done better. And just after we'd scored the first goal, he had a free header from about 8 yards out, and he headed it past the post. So he should have done better with the two efforts that were legal, and he didn't, thankfully. So now, that was a scare. The match started again, continued as it had. We were having all the possession and looking quite good, looking reasonably safe. They were having the odd burst up the field from a long ball, but it wasn't coming to anything, so that was good. First goal, corner on the left. Tavernier takes a good cross from him for once, and there was Nico Raskin, as if fate had decided this, running towards the near post, lost his marker, jumps up, glancing header, unstoppable into the net. Brilliant goal, great header. He's done that 2 or 3 times in the last 6 months or so. So they should have been marking him more carefully. I think they think he's so wee, they don't need to set their big guys on him like Rocky Bashiri, etc. They're marking the bigger guys in the team. So he's got scope, if he's given the right cross, to actually get ahead of the defenders and get to the ball and glance it into the net, which is what he did. So brilliant opening goal. Well done, Nico. Whole crowd's delighted, etc. Same proceeded as usual. Nothing coming from Hibs. We're having all the possession. Second goal when it came, thankfully another person who needed a goal, Miovski. He's not done anything wrong, he's just had no service in all his games practically. So this time, again, Crater, Raskin, lovely chip. He saw the run of Mikey Moore. That was one of the 2 things he did the whole game. He ran into the box, the ball landed right in front of him, he should have scored. Bashiri actually managed to deflect it, but he only deflected it into the path of Miovski, who just had a simple finish, and that was just 2-0 up. Hopefully the game won, but with this team, you never know. And it was just after that we had another chance, can't remember who missed it, but we weren't bothered. We were 2-0 up. Haven't said that this season in a domestic game, I don't think, so that was real progress. Second half, we had various chances. Hibs didn't. It was comfortable. I'm trying to remember the chances. Oh, a great Gasman run from his trademark left wing, inside, along the 18-yard line. Lovely curling shot, glanced off the bar and away to safety. So that was like the one he hit the bar with last week against Hearts, so we know he can do that. So he's unlucky there. With a goal rightly chalked offside from a scramble in the area, 6-yard box, when Miovski, lovely little flick into the net, but he was offside by a yard or so. We had, what else? We had another one where Miovski could have scored. I can't remember the Hibs defender out on the left. He tried to pass it back to his goalkeeper in the box, and he just passed it straight to the gas man, and he just laid it off to Miovski. First time, low shot, and of all people, Donkey Hanley was running back onto the line to whip it off the line before it went into the net. So good defending. Never thought I'd say that about Donkey Hanley, but unlucky Miovski did everything right. So that was another one. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Ant-Man, when he'd come on as a sub, too late a sub, in my opinion, for Mikey Moore. He ran past 3 Hibs players, lovely dribble past them into the box, and he kind of side-footed it, and it went inches past the far post. So that would have been the goal of the season for us if that had gone in. So well done, the movement, the dribble. Not so much the finish, but at least that showed what he can do. And having mentioned Mikey Moore, I thought the second thing he did that merited mention was he actually got a pass from the gas man coming in from the left. He laid it off to him about 20 yards out. His first touch took it a couple of feet to his right, and when he shot, it went about a foot past the left-hand post. So if he hadn't taken that first touch to the right so much, it might have been on target. So The one run and the shot that was deflected and the shot past the post, that was his whole contribution. Every time he got it, he wouldn't take the man on, he wouldn't try and dribble past him, he just laid it off inside to somebody or passed it to Tavernier or whatever. A winger who doesn't wing is something we don't need. He just looked as if he's no confidence about getting past these defenders that he's come up against. So he's supposedly a tricky dribbler going forward, causing all sorts of mayhem. Not when he plays for us, he just lays it off. He's frightened to take the man on, so I don't want to see him playing in front of Ant-Man again. That's the guy who should be starting. So anyhow, good 2-0 win, comfortable, into the semi-finals. Let's hope we get Motherwell or St Mirren to give us a bit of breathing space, and hopefully the tide has turned at last.